Hello, my name is Bill Eady, and I am the self-appointed Green Mountain Car Guy. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Green Mountain Car Guy. If you prefer to read words rather than listen to the sound of my voice, you can also click the link below for my article on autotrader.com/oversteer. Now, today I'd like to talk to you about the PT Cruiser. There are many things that people do to Chrysler PT Cruisers. Some go a little overboard. The owner took a look in the J.C. Whitney catalog and said, "Oh, I'll take one of each, please." Others use them as alternative parking spaces for their Hummers. Today, I have something a little bit different. It's this. Incredibly, this isn't some one-off brainchild of some guy and his love for the London taxi cab that he couldn't have here in America. There are actually 20 of these things that were made. I came across this one a few months ago. I saw it going the other way on the interstate, and then became the only person in history to do a double take on a PT Cruiser. Thinking that that was going to be it, just a fleeting moment in my life as this passed in and out of it very quickly, I continued on. And then one day I saw it going the other way on a regular road, and I happened to have a few minutes, so I turned around, I followed the guy, and I stopped and talked to him. He was very happy to talk about the car a little bit and give me some insight, and he agreed to, on another day, let me take it for a little drive and tell you guys all about it. In the time between that meeting and today, I took a little time to research the car and see if I could find any information on it. I was quickly led to the website for a company called AAT Cars, and they are the company that designed and built these. I reached out to them, and actually the owner of the company got back to me, and so we talked on the phone for about an hour and had some fun talking about cars and the history of these. And this is that story. In the early 2000s, the dot-com era was booming, and there were lots of strange and different companies coming and going all the time. One such company was called Parachute.com, which was a company that was started in San Francisco with the intent of delivering small packages in the wealthy gated communities of the area. That way the folks that lived there didn't have to look at those big ugly brown trucks every time they ordered their fancy Casio watches and cubic zirconia ring. Of course, there were lots of options for the company Parachute.com to choose to create these delivery vehicles. However, money being easy to come by in those days, they settled on getting themselves some London taxis. So they approached LTI, also known as London Taxi Incorporated, to see if they could buy cars to bring to our country. Due to the cost of the taxis and the cost that would be involved with getting them federally legalized and able to run on our roads, it wasn't a feasible option. So instead, LTI came up with an alternative. LTI went to AAT Cars, based in Pontiac, Michigan, to build them. They did agree. The fiberglass was molded elsewhere and brought in. AAT Cars assembled all 20 of them. They do use real London taxi grills and the headlights as well. And while most of the modifications were to the front end, taxi sign on the roof, as well as this molded area along the back to mimic where the London taxi plate goes. Obviously, as most of the dot-com businesses did, Parachute.com did go out of business. The cars were dispersed all over the United States, and every once in a while one of them pops up. All right, so on the road with the Chrysler PT Cruiser / LTI London Taxi Edition thing. It looks very unique from the front, looks a little bit unique from the back, looks pretty normal from the side, and in here it is entirely Chrysler PT Cruiser. Under the hood is the normal 2.4 liter, I think, non-turbocharged engine. I've got an automatic transmission, and that's about it. So it drives exactly like a PT Cruiser. Every once in a while somebody will give you a weird look, and you give them a weird look back because you're just driving a Chrysler, and then you get out and go, oh yeah, it looks a little different. Admittedly, this one does drive pretty nice. There's no creaks, no rattles, no nothing. Fairly quiet on the road. Not exactly sprightly in the handling or acceleration department, but whatever. It's just, it was never meant for that anyway. Although this one does have 28,000 miles on it, so it probably should drive pretty well. This car is now living here in and around Burlington, Essex, Vermont. The current owner got it in October. Came from his sister when she passed away, unfortunately. She used it as a delivery company in central New Hampshire. And before that, it
Carfax shows that the first owner was reported on August 17th of 2000, and then there is basically nothing until June of 2009. In June, it was in New Hampshire, where it passed an emissions inspection with 1,000 miles on it. So clearly, whatever it was doing in California, it wasn't doing very much of it. The owner of AAT cars says not much happened with those cars. I think a lot of the cars spent all their time sitting in a warehouse somewhere, not doing anything, while the company figured out that it wasn't going to work. And so, consequently, in 9 years, it traveled 1,000 miles. But since then, it's gone 27,000 more.
So that's the story of the London taxi, commissioned by LTI, built by AAT cars, and used to deliver the housewives of San Francisco their knockoff Gucci handbags. And so there you are. There are 19 more of these things out there. I don't know how many are still on the road. The owner of AAT cars did say that every once in a while one of them pops up and people do reach out to him and continue to ask about them. So if you do come across one, just remember that it could be pretty much the rarest PT Cruiser in the world. And hey, whether you love the PT Cruiser or not, even the most cynical of haters would probably laugh and have a smile on their face if their Uber driver pulled up in this.